Hi guys, welcome to another video. Well, let's learn how to trace objects in easy steps on the iPad or the desktop. Now this is faster and neater than vector converters, and it's a great deal more satisfying. I don't know how many hours you've spent trying to convert images using those vector converters, but their results are never very satisfying. But this will be all your own work. Now there's an example of what we're going to trace. Firstly, let's subscribe. Before we continue, can I urge you to take a moment to tap the subscribe option below this video. It's completely free and puts you under no obligation, just takes a second. It does, however, help me, and I really appreciate it. If you're already subscribed to this channel, then I thank you wholeheartedly. Let's continue. So, let's get right to it. Download the Sample PNG file from my Facebook group or from my website. Now the addresses are in the description just below the subscribe button, as fate would have it. The addresses are in the description. Then open the image directly in Affinity Designer. This is a typical PNG logo image. It's a motorbike logo, in fact, very common requirement. So let's trace it and end up with a lovely vector file you can use anywhere. Pure vector, I might add. Now, for this type of work, you really do need an Apple Pencil if you're on an iPad particularly. Fat fingers just don't do the job, sorry. Especially if you've got big fingers like mine. So I use the Apple Pencil. Now a mouse is fine if you're doing this on a desktop or you've got a mouse somehow attached to your iPad. Very useful. Okay, first up, select the pen tool. The default settings are fine. You don't need to change anything. They're fine as they are. We're going to work our way around the perimeter of the letters with no breaks or restarts. That's each letter, that is, not the whole thing. You have to go around each letter. Can't start and stop somewhere else on the letter. You'll end up with all sorts of strange results. So it's important. Tap the Navigator Studio if you like and zoom in 600% and move the image so just the L, the first letter, is showing. And you can see that's what I've done there. If you're confident enough with small letters or you've got a big iPad, it might work out just fine. But that's where the Navigator Studio is, and it's very useful. Now, tap your pencil point carefully on the first top left corner of the L. You can see the arrows pointing to it there. Go to the next corner to the right and tap again. You'll see the nodes appear as little dots. If it's slightly off, don't panic. We can fix it later. Work your way around the letter, and when you get to the curves, simply add lots of little points as you work your way around the curve, and you can see that's what I've done there. You'll see the line following your points. Keep going all the way around. Don't start and stop somewhere else. Now, with the pen tool still selected, switch it to edit mode in the context toolbar. Make sure the snap tool is turned off. That's the X on the left-hand side there, third from the bottom. If I were you, I'd also turn off snapping. That's the magnet tool. Sorry, not the X tool, the magnet tool. Now you can carefully drag various nodes into place so the outline is accurate. Take your time with this so you don't leave random strokes. If you've accidentally tapped the X and turned off all the nodes, just tap the layer again to highlight the layer and all your nodes will come back. So that's easy to get around that one. Now check. Now you can check your outline. Set the colour to a grey. RGB 235, 235, 235 is a good one. Tap the Use Fill tool in the context toolbar and you can fill your outline with that grey colour. And now you can clearly see the original colour if your trace lines are not accurate. You'll see there's some of the black just peeping through the vertical bar on the right hand side of the L. I wouldn't worry too much about that because at this stage that's going to disappear anyway. Now you can set the fill colour to black. Simply go to the colour dot, turn off selection, that's deselect, by tapping the X. So you've got a nice clean letter L there now. You can see the context toolbar, it's still in edit mode. You don't want to accidentally start adding nodes by touching the screen. You can check your shape now by deactivating the image layer, leaving only the letter L that you just created. So far, so good. You can see the layers panel there, the original image locked and deselected, and the layer that you just created is active. Now let's complete the letters. It's exactly the same process, right across the board. And there you see it. So now we have the complete word. Some letters easier than others, but take your time. There's no rush. They're nearly all straight lines, apart from the A and some of the corners of the N. Remember, if you want to go back and edit a letter, then select its layer in the Layers panel and tap the Node tool. That will bring up all the nodes of that letter and you can push them about as you like. Be careful of the Node tool, it behaves a little differently to the pen edit option. Now if you've got the layer selected, you can also tap on the pen and you'll see your nodes appear, and you can edit by using the edit mode in the pen tool. So now let's move to the red graphics section. You've got the Li fan, you've got the letters there, nice and neat. Now let's look at the logo part that's made up of a red donut and 3 red L's. Not as difficult as it looks. Now looking at the donut part, with the base image selected so that it shows through, select the donut shape from the rectangle tool options. You've probably defaulted to the rectangle tool, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th option up from the bottom on the left-hand toolbar there. So select the rectangle tool and scroll down its list to get to the donut tool. That's the one we want, because what we've got there is a red donut. Now drag the donut shape out and then adjust it to a near fit of the existing image one, and you can just see the red peeping out from under the black donut there. Now how do I get it so thin? There's a teeny red dot on the inner edge of the donut. That's a handle that you can use to adjust the width of the donut once you have its overall shape neatly covering the existing donut. Now you can see there's not much difference there. It's very close to being what we want. You could probably be happy with that. But as I'm going to be a little bit fussy, I'll show you how to adjust this. Set the layer that the donut has been created on and convert the donut to a curve. Go up to edit mode. The image is turned off here again for clarity. Now you can adjust the donut shape to fit the original exactly by selecting the node tool and adjusting the shape carefully and exactly. Now you can only do that if it's a curve, so don't forget to create it, to make it a curve. Make sure the donut layer is selected still and select the node tool. You can now carefully adjust the donut and change its colour to the correct red colour. Here again the background image is turned back on so you can see the rest of the logo. Now I'll show you that in a moment. Now I've enlarged it, the background image is still turned back on and you can see the rest of the logo. Turn off the red donut you just created. Deselect it so it's not turned on. Take the tick out of the box in the layer, in other words. You'll see the outline of your donut over the original image and you can see it doesn't quite fit. You can now get even finer detail because the original is not symmetrical. You can adjust yours to fit. You can see the outer edges left and right are a little bit thicker than the top and bottom edges. The donut is now almost fully adjusted. The left side and lower side is yet to go. You can see I haven't quite adjusted them right yet. And now we can move, once you've done that, move on to the 3 L's. The 3 L shapes are created exactly the same as all of the letters on the lower half of the image, the Li Fan letters. You can create them individually or create one and copy it twice and adjust each repeat shape to fit. Both options taking about the same time and about the same level of difficulty. So it's entirely up to you whether you copy them one by one, trace them one by one, or trace, copy and adjust. Fairly straightforward. Now, there's only one thing left. With the complete set of curves for the logo completed, we want it on a transparent background for use as an SVG suitable for cutting on something like cricket or silhouette. Select all of the layers. You can see I've got all the layers selected there except the image layer. Do not select the image layer. Go to the Edit menu and select Copy. So you're copying all of the layers. Save the image and exit the project. That's the top left-hand arrow. Go back to the start and select New Document, and then select New from Clipboard. You now have a new transparent background image to work with. Moreover, it's a pure vector SVG file ready for export. So give it an appropriate name and you can even export it as an SVG. Why give it an appropriate name? So you can come back to it later on. So really, tracing is relatively easy. Look at your original. Carefully work out what you have to do to duplicate the original image. Remember, photographs don't work well, but you can of course still trace a very good likeness of a person with some care. Logos and clip art are relatively easy. Can you trace this one? Have a look at it carefully, see what it's composed of, and it shouldn't be too difficult. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you find it useful. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the thumbs up for a like and the bell to be reminded when new videos appear. I really appreciate it.